Hey everyone, so I am hopping on today to create some YouTube thumbnails and Patreon thumbnails, but I figured this was a good time to show you how I connect to ComfyUI because I don't use SSH tunneling. That leaves one of your PC's ports exposed, even though it's only to a specific port and you need a certain API key. It's still not as secure as using something like Cloudflared, which is what I'll be showing you today. So I spun up a RTX 4090 here. We want to connect to JupyterLab this time. We're not going to use the SSH tunnel. We're going to connect to JupyterLab. And then I added a couple files on my Patreon. So download these. And then upload them into your workspace. So these files just run some lines of Python code and command line code that install ComfyUI. So this ComfyUI basic setup.sh file is installing ComfyUI, adding a Python kernel called VM, which is our virtual environment, and then it downloads the Flux models necessary to run Flux. Okay, so if you hit Shift Enter, it'll start to install. Okay, so our download is done. One thing to note is if you got an out of memory error in here, go back to your pod, make sure that you have, at least you probably could get away with like 60 gigabytes for this example, but make sure that your pod volume is high enough. Okay, so now all we need to do, there's one catch here, make sure you remember to change the kernel. So I'm on just the regular Python 3 kernel. We want to use the virtual environment that we just installed. Go to the Cloudflared, run ComfyUI with Cloudflared. All you have to do is hit Shift Enter. And we get a public URL. So don't put any information. One thing to note, so this is a public website. It's not connected to your local machine, which is why I feel it's more secure, but do remember that it is public. It's open to anyone on the internet. So don't put any of your personal information into ComfyUI when you are using this. SSH would be more secure if you are putting personal information on and don't want anyone else to be able to see it. I don't use personal information when I'm running ComfyUI, so I'm comfortable with using Cloudflared. All right, and just you want to give it like 10 seconds to set up. It's setting up the certificates for the website immediately after you launch it. So if you click it right away, it's not going to have certificates, and then you'll have to close it and reopen it, or kill the process and rerun the cell. All right, and here we are, our familiar ComfyUI. Okay, so this is just a regular workflow. We want to get the Flux workflow. So I'm gonna go to the Comfy anonymous Flux example. Flux example. All right, so I'm gonna pull Flux Schnell here. Save the image. So the cool thing about ComfyUI is you can save the metadata of an image, and the metadata is the ComfyUI workflow. So I just downloaded this image, and I'm going to drag and drop it into my ComfyUI, and it picks up the workflow. So this was the Comfy Anonymous GitHub blog. This is the creator of Comfy, and this is a workflow that he's provided for Flux Schnell to try out Flux. All right, so let's give it a go. Oh, so we have to tell it where we put our Flux models. So there's our Flux now. There's our 2 clips, and then our VAE. Flux is a bit of a heavier model, so it takes longer to load and longer to run, but it's worth it. It's a much more superior model to Stable Diffusion. All right, and there we go. There's Flux now with a with Cloudflared, so a URL that's open to the internet. Pretty cool because our C's are the same. We get the exact same image that Comfy posted here. All right, so I'm gonna get to generating my thumbnails, but if you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. I'll answer them as quick as I can, and there'll be more videos coming soon. I'm excited to get the one about Hunyuan video, an awesome video generator model that's free to use and open source. So look forward to that, and I'll talk to you all later.